संसार समुद्र तारा नौकायिकाभ्यां गुरुभक्तिनाभ्यां वैराग्य साम्राज्य पूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां शिरीशाकराभ्यां दौर्भाग्यदावां कुलमालिकाभ्यां दूरीकृतानां प्रविपत्तिताभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां पतितां समीयो कदाचिदप्याशु दरिद्रवर्या मूकाश्च वाचस्पतिताभ्युताभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां कलिकाशपदाभिताभ्यां नानाविमोहारिनिवारिकाभ्यां नमज्जनाभीष्टततिप्रदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां रत्नकान्ति सरिद्विराज शशकन्यकाभ्यां कृपद्वदाभ्यां नतलोकपङ्क्ते नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां परम्पराभ्यां तापत्रयाहीन्द्रखगेश्वराभ्यां जाड्याभिषं शोषणं पाडवाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां समाधिशक्तं प्रदवैभवाभ्यां समाधिदारामृतदीक्षिताभ्यां मुक्तेः हेतुश्च स्थिरभक्तिदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां स्वाहा सहायाक्षदूरन्तराभ्यां स्वान्ता च भावप्रदपूजनाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां सत्त्वव्रजगारुडाभ्यां विवेकवैराग्यनिधिप्रदाभ्यां बोध प्रदाभ्यां कृतमोक्षदाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां नमो नमः श्री गुरुपादुकाभ्यां
ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। मपनि सप मनि परे रे पमनि पनि मनि पमरे पमरे मने परि जरे निसा परि जरे निसा परि जरे निसा सरे रे निसा सरे रे। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, जब ते दर्शन पाया।
ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, जब ते दर्शन पाया। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया।
अनबोलत मेरी बिरथा जानी, बिरथा जानी। अनबोलत मेरी बिरथा जानी, अनबोलत मेरी बिरथा जानी। अपना नाम जपाया, अपना नाम जपाया, अपना नाम जपाया। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, जब ते दर्शन पाया। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया।
सहज समाए, दुख नाटे सुख सहज समाए, अनद अनद गुण गाया, अनद अनद गुण गाया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। ये सारे मपाने सारे रे साने सारे रे साने सारे रे माने,
निसा सा निसा सा निसा सा नि रे रे निसा सा नि रे निसा सा नि रे सा नि बाबा रे सा नि रे बाबा नि नि
मपनी निसा सा नि रे रे निसा सा नि रे निसा पानी मपा,
मपनी रे पनी रे पनी रे पवा रे मरे रे सा रे सा रे पनी सा। बाह पकड़ कड़ली ने अपने, बाह पकड़ कड़ली ने अपने, ग्रहंध कूपते माया, ग्रहंध कूपते माया, ग्रहंध कूपते माया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया।
कहु नानक गुरु बंधन काटे, गुरु बंधन काटे, गुरु बंधन काटे, गुरु बंधन काटे। कहु नानक गुरु बंधन काटे, कहु नानक गुरु बंधन काटे, बिछुरत आन मिलाया, बिछुरत आन मिलाया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया। उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, उतर गयो मेरे मन का संसार, जब ते दर्शन पाया, ठाकुर तुम शरणाई आया, साई तुम शरणाई आया, साई तुम शरणाई आया। भज रे यदुनाथं, भज रे यदुनाथं मानस, भज रे यदुनाथं, भज रे यदुनाथं मानस, भज रे यदुनाथं भजरे यतुनाथं मानस भजरे यतुनाथं भजरे यतुनाथं गोपवतु परिरम्पणलोलं गोपवतु परिरम्पणलोलं गोपवतु परिरम्पणलोलं गोपकिशोरकम् अद्भुतलीलं गोपकिशोरकम् अद्भुतलीलं 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 भजरे यतुनाथं मानस भजरे यतुनाथं भजरे यतुनाथं कपटाङ्कीकृतमानुषवेषं 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 कपटनाट्यकृत गुत्सितवेषं कपटनाट्यकृत गुत्सितवेषं 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 भजरे यतुनाथं मानस भजरे यतुनाथं भजरे यतुनाथं परमहंस हृतत्वस्वरूपं परमहंस हृतत्वस्वरूपं प्रणवपयोदरं प्रणवस्वरूपं प्रणवपयोदरं प्रणवस्वरूपं 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 भजरे यतुनाथं मानस भजरे यतुनाथं भजरे यतुनाथं यतुनाथं यतुनाथं
ఆధారమైన పెద్ద పాత్రను తీసి ఆధారమైన పెద్ద పాత్రను తీసి ఆది సాయిదిని పాకము పెట్టెను ఆది సాయిదిని పాకము పెట్టెను సాయి నామములు ప్రసాదమిదిగో రండి భక్తులారా రకరకమైనది సాయి ప్రసాదం సకల రోగ నివారణమోయి రకరకమైనది సాయి ప్రసాదం సకల రోగ నివారణమోయి ఒక కాసైనను ఖర్చులెదోయి ఒక కాసైనను ఖర్చులెదోయి టకరా చేయక తారకమైనది టకరా చేయక తారకమైనది సాయి నామములు ప్రసాదమిదిగో రండి భక్తులారా సారమైనది సారథి పాత్ర సారథి దాసులకేమో ఎరుక సారమైనది సారథి పాత్ర సారథి దాసులకేమో ఎరుక దూరము పోయి కొన పని లేదు దూరము పోయి కొన పని లేదు పతిపురమున కొల్లుగా గొరుకొను పతిపురమున కొల్లుగా గొరుకొను సాయి నామములు ప్రసాదమిదిగో రండి భక్తులారా సాయి నామములు ప్రసాదమిదిగో రండి భక్తులారా సత్య సాయి నామములు ప్రసాదమిదిగో రండి భక్తులారా
Om Shri Sai Ram, offering my loving and prayerful salutations at the divine lotus feet of my ever-present Divine Master. Esteemed elders, dear brothers and sisters, Sai Ram to all of you. It's a moment of poignant memories as I stand here, 17 years after the day I was first asked to speak here in Kulwant Hall. In the year 1996, when Bhagwan had told me to speak here in Prasanthi Nilayam, in the Kulwant Hall, the day after Guru Poornima, I so vividly remember the effusiveness of his blessings as he patted my head 100 times and tapped my cheeks and pulled my cheeks and said, "Bhaga matladavu." And it is this effusive, overflowing, unrestrained blessings of Bhagwan that has been the inspiration and the source of strength for not just the Vidyavahini program, but if we look deeply, this love has been the source of our lives, the source of inspiration in our lives for as long as we live. The Sri Sathya Sai Vidyavahini program, which Bhagwan had blessed on the 85th birthday, is a program that inspires people with the motto of education for all, by all. The education for all, a clarion call given by the Government of India, has its own challenges, and those challenges can only be met when we ensure that education becomes by all, that each one of us is responsible for the education of the future generation of our nation. Swami's guidance has been continual. It is his guidance that has formulated the 4 pillars of Vidyavahini, the 4 pillars that we call IIEP: insightful, inspiring, enjoyable, and participative. How to make education insightful? When we had shown a few lesson plans to Bhagwan in October 2010, Bhagwan, in his own simple style, had said, "Pillalki arthamayetatluga cheppandi." A very profound statement, which is being spoken about in the field of education as child-centered learning. How to make the subject come alive for a child, how to ensure that the academics that the child is exposed to becomes a part of the child. That is the first objective, to make education insightful. When we had gone to Bhagwan for a name for this project in May 2010, we had given a few options and Swami said, "Vidyavahini ani petko." And in his own inimitable, beautiful style, Bhagwan said, "Aa peruto oka pustakam kuda undi telsuna." Bhagwan does not say that I have written a book called Vidyavahini, go read it. He says, there is a book by that name. And we said, "Swami, that is the inspiration of all our lives." The second objective of Vidyavahini, the second pillar of the pillar of Vidyavahini comes from that statement of Bhagwan, that is to inspire education with human values, to inspire, to breathe life into that which is dead, to inspire, to breathe life into education. The oxygen for education is human values. How to ensure that every class, every moment of a child's life is suffused with inspiring moments. That is the second objective, the second pillar of Vidyavahini, and we keep continuously thinking of ways and means of doing this. The third objective of Vidyavahini, the third pillar of Vidyavahini, enjoyable, came from a beautiful instruction from Swami when we had shown him a few animations of the lesson plans, Bhagwan was very happy. He was tugging at the laptop here in the bhajan hall. He was trying to, he was pressing the various buttons and seeing, and he said, "Ide pillalni akarshistai." This is what will attract children, to make the process of education, the process of teaching and learning enjoyable. That is the third objective of Vidyavahini. And the amount of love that Bhagwan had showered in October 2010, November 2010, December 2010, and finally in February 2011, where he had blessed more than 300 volunteers of Vidyavahini in the Purnachandra auditorium. That is the spirit of participation. That is the spirit that brings participation into this program with inspired hearts. And that spirit of participation is the fourth objective of Vidyavahini, to channelize the capabilities of volunteers towards self-rewarding service. So these four objectives of Vidyavahini guide us to take those inspiring moments of Bhagwan to every school in this nation. That is what is the vision of Vidyavahini. There are three deliverables from Vidyavahini, three things that Vidyavahini concentrates on delivering. That is, one is a very high quality lesson plan, so that the teacher who enters the classroom in the rural India has got a minute by minute script of what she needs to communicate to children. The second deliverable is mentoring, to create a scaffold, a support structure of elite teachers who are available on call or who are willing to travel once in a while to the village schools, to ensure that the rural teachers get the feel that they are not alone and left out there, to ensure that those teachers get the support and the feel that the entire country is behind me. How do we bring that vision together is the thought process that inspires and drives Vidyavahini. Lesson plans and mentoring are the first two deliverables, and the third deliverable are teaching aids. These are the PowerPoints that are created by IT volunteers. There are employees from multinational companies who are using the Vidyavahini program as an outlet for their global volunteering, for their CSR initiatives, where their employees want to participate in something constructive, and this gives them an avenue to participate. They have created some of the best PowerPoints. There are employees from international companies that have translated lesson plans from English to Marathi, that have translated PowerPoints. They have created PowerPoints in Marathi for the Maharashtra State Board. And now we have an example in Hyderabad where volunteers from another company are coming forward to participate in their spirit of volunteerism. The greatest boost to the program came very early in the program in July 2010, when Bhagwan made us make a presentation to Sri Ratan Tata. Sri Ratan Tata Garu, when he had come, he sat through a presentation, a very quickly put together presentation. And Bhagwan was gracious enough to tell that this is a good project and support. And his support in the form of TCS's involvement, the involvement of Tata Consultancy Services in this program has been phenomenal. For the last 3 years, they have kept a team of nearly 10 to 12 members going up and down. A 10 to 12 member team has been developing the software for Sri Sathya Sai Vidyavahini. It is this software that allows a seamless confluence of ideas, where teachers from elite schools are able to come together and share their ideas on a common platform, where IT volunteers are able to support the teachers in identifying the best animations, the best images, and ensuring that the best content is created on the Sri Sathya Sai Vidyavahini program, on the Sri Sathya Sai Vidyavahini portal. And it is this portal that allows the EHV experts to come and infuse value content into every lesson plan. And this is the support that we have received from the Tata Consultancy Services. Mr. Chandrasekharan, who is the CEO of Tata Consultancy Services had come to Prasanthi Nilayam to hand over the first phase of Vidyavahini software to the trust. And when he handed it over to Chakravarti sir, he said that we would like to be associated with the program for 5 more years. Because of this software, today we have 2,144 registered users on the portal. They have created 12,951 academic assets and 1,729 value content assets on the portal. An asset is a small portion of a lesson plan. These small portions of a lesson plan, an activity or a way to ask a question or a way to convey an interesting fact or a way to convey a day-to-day relevance or a small value content that becomes part of the lesson plan. These small assets are weaved together to create one lesson plan. And the number of lesson plans on the portal are nearly 501 as of June 2013. All this work has been possible only because of the support and the constant dedication of the state coordinators of Sri Sathya Sai Vidyavahini, the subject class coordinators, and the content generation teachers from various schools across India. The label of Sai schools and non-Sai schools are only in our minds. Every school that comes forward with effusiveness, every school that comes forward with inspiration is a Sai school. And there are many schools in Delhi, in Calcutta, in West Bengal, in Hyderabad, and in across other states, in Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, where irrespective of whether they have the name Sai in their title or not, they come forward to create content in this project that they know is a project of nation building, of building the future of our nation. The IT volunteers have been working very hard along with the teachers. And then there are the deployment coordinators. The coordinators who take this content and, like Santa Claus, go and give it to the rural schools. And today there are 26 rural schools across India, Sai schools, in which we are experimenting the delivery of these lesson plans. And they are the most important components, the teachers, those schools are the most important components because they give feedback about the quality of the lesson plan to ensure that these lesson plans would then be scalable for all schools, all rural schools across India. The support of the Board of Trustees of the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust has been like a pillar, has been rock solid. The trust has sanctioned a budget of 10,000 rupees for 60 schools, that is a budget of 6 lakhs, for creating teaching aids, how to teach science using various aids, and how these aids could be created at a very low cost, in a very low cost manner and deployed to the various schools. That is one of the deliverables of Vidyavahini. And finally, the Sri Sathya Sai Vidyavahini Center for Excellence in Teaching is almost ready for inauguration here in Prasanthi Nilayam. All this because of the constant support and guidance from the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust. Needless to say, the only most deep inspiration and the driving force for the program has been Bhagwan. Bhagwan's inspiration is what has driven this program right from the beginning and which continues to drive this program and will continue to drive the program. And as an offering of our love and gratitude, we offer the first publication of the Vidyavahini program at Bhagwan's lotus feet. Sameep, that which brings you close. Sameep is an art and craft curriculum which with workbooks and teachers' handbooks for classes 1 to 7. When we go to rural schools where getting the basic textbooks for teachers, for students is itself a luxury, there is hardly any scope for the children to buy art and craft books. Why should the children of rural India be deprived of color and beauty? This is the thought that has inspired this program of art and craft as one of the streams of Vidya Vahini. And this book is a book that contains 27 activities, one for each week of the working day, each of the working weeks in a year in the school, so that the teacher can give these books to the children, and the children can do either the drawing or the coloring or some craft activities. And when these activities are being done in the class, the teachers have got a handbook which tells what would be the appropriate story or an anecdote that can be conveyed to the children during this activity. So that is the teacher's handbook. 7,700 books have been published, the workbooks have been published, and 700 teachers' handbooks have been published, and those are being offered at Bhagwan's lotus feet. We request Sri Vidya ma'am, who has led this team very ably, to offer this at Bhagwan's lotus feet, and we request Chakravarti sir, who has been guiding us throughout, to hand over the books to the primary school and the Ishwarama High School. Thank you, Chakravarti sir. We will be failing in our duty if we do not mention that the alumni of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, who are currently residing in the Middle East, came forward and snatched this opportunity of getting these books printed, and it is their offering of their love and gratitude at the lotus feet of their Mother Sai. With renewed prayers on this auspicious Guru Poornima day for the Divine Master to continue to inspire us, to continue to guide us, to continue to take us with full vigor unto Him, we offer once again our gratitude to our beloved Bhagwan.
Om Shri Sai Ram. Offering myself at Bhagwan's divine lotus feet, esteemed elders and my dear brothers and sisters, a loving Sai Ram to all of you. It is said that when the Shishya, the disciple, is ready, the Guru reveals himself. On this auspicious occasion of Guru Poornima, let us all pray to our Jagat Guru to give us the strength, the faith to follow on the footsteps that he has left behind, and guide us with this illuminating grace in every step of our life. This morning, we are fortunate to have two long-standing devotees of Bhagwan who will be sharing with us their experience, their perspective, which will be like a guiding post for all of us. The first speaker is Dr. Shrikant Sola, Senior Cardiac Consultant, Department of Cardiology, Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Whitefield, Bangalore. Dr. Sola completed his BS in Biological Sciences from Stanford University, United States, and went on to finish his MD with a gold medal from University of Louisville School of Medicine, Louisville, United States. He then completed his internship and residency in internal medicine from Duke University Medical Center, Durham, United States, and later pursued his fellowship in cardiology, Department of Internal Medicine, later becoming a chief fellow, Division of Cardiology, Department of Internal Medicine from Emory University School of Medicine, Atlanta, United States in the year 2005. He then joined as the staff cardiologist, Heart and Vascular Institute, Cleveland Clinic, Cleveland, United States. In the year 2008, Dr. Shrikant Sola was summoned by Bhagwan to serve in a super specialty hospital, and since then, he has been serving as a senior cardiac consultant at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, Whitefield, Bangalore. Dr. Sola has several awards and honors to his credit. Named as one of America's top cardiologists by the Consumer Research Groups of America, he has had an extremely successful career stint, which he attributes to continuous guidance of Bhagwan. Dr. Shrikant Sola is very active in research front, having several international publications to his credit. He is also the principal investigator for several research projects. Besides his stupendous achievements in the medical front, which Dr. Sola openly attributes to the divine inner guidance of Bhagwan, he is very well known for his talks on the methods to achieve the deep inner connection, the connection with our inner Guru. The next speaker for this morning is Professor Dalton de Souza Amorim, born in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, with the academic qualifications on biological sciences. He has been a university professor since 1985 and presently holds a position of a full professor at University of Sao Paulo. He is a research associate at the American Museum of Natural History in New York, with more than 100 scientific papers and books published. At the Sathya Sai organization, he has been the head of Sathya Sai Center, National Education Coordinator, Deputy Central Coordinator, and Central Coordinator, and he now serves as Zonal Chair for Zone 2B that corresponds to South America. He is also one of the founders of Sathya Sai School of Ribeirão Preto in southern Brazil and a founder member of the Brazil Sathya Sai Institute of Education. He also has been serving for the last few years at the Education Committee of the Sathya Sai World Foundation. I now take the opportunity of inviting the first speaker of this morning's session, Dr. Shrikant Sola. Sai Ram.
My humble pranams at the lotus feet of our beloved Guru and Master, Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Respected elders and dear brothers and sisters, my loving Sai Rams to each and every one of you. It's a pleasure to be here on this holy and auspicious occasion of Guru Poornima. And as I stand here before you, I'm reminded of how I first came to Swami, of a humorous incident when I first came to Swami back in 2008, after having moved from the United States to India. This was around Guru Poornima time, and I had just joined the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences as a cardiologist, as Swami's cardiologist. And so I had come here to Prasanthi Nilayam on my first visit to seek Bhagavan's blessings as I began this new career, this new phase of my life. Imagine my excitement as I sat here on the veranda, not too far from where I'm standing today, and Bhagavan approached me in his chair and motioned for me to come forward. With my heart palpitating, every limb in my body trembling, I approached Bhagavan, kneeling before him, engulfed by his smile, his radiance, that beautiful divine fragrance that emanates from him. And with a heart full of enthusiasm, I bursted out with my hands folded. I said, Sai Ram, Swami. And Swami just looked at me with a smile of amusement. I was very naive, perhaps, at that time, and certainly very simple in my approach to how I understood Swami. Perhaps in the time that has intervened, I have matured a bit, but my practice of Swami's teachings is still very simple. And what I would like to share with you this morning is just one of these simple practices that I follow. Swami has given us the 4 F's: follow the master, fight the devil, face the devil, fight to the end, and finish the game. These are the 4 F's. In my simple-minded practice, I actually only follow one of these: follow the master. I'll tell you what happened to the other 3 at the end of this talk. Follow the master. This lesson I learned actually by watching our students. As Bhagavan sat before us on the dais, I would observe how Swami's students would interact and relate with Swami. They were ever attentive, always alert to Swami's slightest motion, always focused with one pointed attention on everything that Swami did. Whenever Swami gave the slightest instruction, the slightest hint that he wished something to be done, they would run off immediately performing that task, and when the task was completed, they would come back again and watch Swami with one pointed attention. There are deep lessons in this simple practice for all of us. Just as these students were always observant of Swami, ever ready, always alert, and always obedient to the slightest hint for Swami's wish, his will, we can also do the same. So on this holy occasion of Guru Poornima, I wish to talk to you about following the Master. This is the only practice that I really know. Follow the Master. How do we do it? It's not enough just to talk. We can be like Swami's students, but here we have to follow the inner Master, the inner side. We have to watch him with that same one-pointed attention, that same extreme focus, looking inside of ourselves, watching, always alert, always ready, and ever obedient to his will, his divine will in our lives. Now, when I share this with devotees from around the world, I find that devotees tend to fall in three different groups: children, adults, and our youth or our young adults. Interestingly, when I share this with children, they understand right away. It's simple for them. I just tell them and they say, "Okay, uncle," and they practice right away. And so I'm delighted to see that our students from both of Swami's primary schools are here. Children, you are the one who have to take this forward. You have to set the example. Follow the inner Master. Follow the inner side. Be always alert. Be always ready. And be always obedient to Swami. But you know, Swami is very mischievous and he loves to play. And so make this practice fun. Play the game with Swami. Play with Swami. Have fun with Swami. Follow the Master. When it comes to adults, I find something different. Adults are often led away, sometimes very far away, by the monkey mind. The easiest way to tame this monkey mind, to vanquish this monkey mind, is simply to love Swami, to adore Swami. Because when we love our Lord, we become immersed in our Lord. And we become immersed in him, we become absorbed by him. And then the monkey mind vanishes. The second thing I find in adults is that we have to develop purity. Purity. We have to vanquish the 6 enemies: pride, lust, anger, greed, and so on. Again, the simplest way to do this is just through love. Just contemplate, meditate on Swami's pure, sweet, unconditional love. It's this love of Bhagavan that has drawn him to us, and it is love of Swami that will purify us. Just contemplate on that love, and all these 6 enemies will vanish forever. And then the third thing I find with adults is that sometimes they carry excess baggage. You see, when our students are sitting before Bhagavan, and Swami would ask them to do something, they would get up and run. And then they would come back, and they would again sit silently. They would never proclaim what Swami had told them. They would just carry the work out silently, without making any fuss. But when we carry excess baggage, it's difficult for us to run. It's difficult for us to be agile, to follow Swami's instructions. And this excess baggage is our emotional baggage, our resentments, our regrets, our sense of rejection. These we need to hand over to Swami because we don't need this heavy weight anymore. So when we purify ourselves, when we immerse ourselves in love, and when we get rid of this excess weight, even we adults can follow the Master very easily. Yet there's a third group, and this third group is the one that I find has the most difficulty in following the Master, and this is our youth, our young adults. Surprising. What they tell me is that they say, "Sir, it's fine for you to follow the Master sometimes, but what about us? We have to study. We have to work. We have to establish ourselves in our careers. We have to move forward. I just have a family. I just had a child. I need to earn to support myself." Perhaps just as I was naive when I first came to Bhagavan as his physician and I said Sai Ram to everyone, even to Swami himself, perhaps these young adults are also naive in thinking that somehow, If we follow the Master, we will be relegated to a third-class way of life. Brothers and sisters, let me tell you, this is absolutely incorrect. And let me give you some examples from my own life. 20 years ago, when I was a medical student in the United States, I was physically far away from Swami. I did not have access to Bhagavan's physical form, and so I had to learn to connect to the inner Master. I had to learn to follow the inner side. And I find, interestingly, that 20 years later, we are all in the same position, a beautiful position today. Now, I had, as a student, all medical students had to take the national board exams in order to pass out of medical school. Some of you may know this as the USMLE exams. I was so attuned to Swami in those days that Swami gave me the strength to study for 16, 17, 18 hours a day for months on end to prepare for this exam. And when the time came to actually take the exam, I found that the answers flowed effortlessly, so easily that I was able to answer everything during the 2-day course of the exam without any difficulty at all. A few weeks later, when the results were announced, I was surprised to find that not only had I received the highest score on these board exams in the history of my medical school, I'd also received the highest score ever in the history of the exam itself. This is what happens when we follow the Master. But let's be clear, Swami made it very clear. A few days after all the congratulations from family and friends, classmates, professors had died down, Bhagavan appeared to me in a dream. And he said, with his finger raised, he said, "You see, that was all my doing, Swami's doing." He said to me, "There's no way you could have achieved that kind of score on your own." As you heard during the introduction, I went on to work at the hospital called the Cleveland Clinic, which is regarded as the #1 hospital for cardiac care in the world. So let me give you my example. When we follow the Master, Swami will make you not only #1 in the world, not #1 in the country rather, he will make you work at the #1 institution in the world. He will make you the best that you can possibly be. But still there will be some doubts. Still there will be those who think that if we follow the Master, we will somehow lack. Again, this is incorrect. Let me give you some examples from Swami's own hospital, simple and short examples. When we follow the Master, Bhagavan will bless us with all success. He will bless us with all fame, and he will bless us with all wealth. I'll give you 3 such examples. First, let us look at how Swami has blessed us with all success. We doctors in Swami's hospitals, we are not only physicians who take care of his patients, we are also preceptors, teachers to the next generation of physicians. They are called residents. They have completed their medical school, and they're completing their specialty training to become full-fledged physicians. At the end of their residency training, they have to take national level exams, and these exams are very, very difficult. For every 3 residents who appear for the exam, only 1 will pass and the other 2 will fail. It's a very difficult exam. At Swami's institution, we take this as a holy duty, as a sacred responsibility to train and mentor this next generation of physicians. And so what do? We follow Swami's examples, we follow Swami's guidance, and we follow the Master, attuning ourselves to him so that we are constantly refining and upgrading our teaching program so that our residents get the best possible experience. The result is that whereas in the country, only 33% of residents are passing these exams, at the Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Medical Sciences, our success rate is not less than 100%. Let us look at the second gift from Swami, fame. Now we all know that Swami is the only hero, and we are all just zeros. I'll give you some examples from my own department, the Department of Cardiology. At best, we see that fame is a distraction. We have no interest in this. But we know that Swami gives fame as part of the play. If you look at the senior faculty in our department, we find that they are so attuned to the master that to be with them is similar to being with the master himself. Our junior faculty have risen so quickly by following the inner Swami that they have won 2 national level awards at various meetings. And as this fame, this word of our expertise and knowledge spreads, we find that we, our staff, are in such demand that when we look at medical conferences where physicians are educated, we find that we are booked for every single major international and national conference until the conference schedule ends in February of next year. Such is the demand on Swami's doctors. But not just his doctors, it's his institution, that sacred institution that he has formed. You see, when we as doctors go to a medical conference, we not only expect to hear the most expert physicians speak to us on the latest manners, we also want to see complex operations, difficult procedures being performed so we can learn. And these are beamed into the conference venue from various hospitals around the world. The organizing societies, the senior physicians who lead these societies will choose hospitals which have expert physicians, which have access to a wide range of complex and difficult cases, which have the latest technology and which have excellent infrastructure to support this type of activity. Swami's hospital has all of these. And what we're finding is that when these conferences are organized, these senior doctors are saying, I don't care what it takes, I want Sathya Sai Hospital at our conference. Let us look at the last gift of Swami. When we follow his teaching, Swami will bless us with all wealth. We just have to follow the master. Recently, I was part of a team which was entrusted with the responsibility of purchasing new high-end CT scanners for both of these super specialty hospitals. We had prepared a budget, which was in rupees, naturally, but the vendors which provide these CT scanners give their prices in dollars. Now, as many of you are aware, because of various external factors, the cost or the value of the rupee against the dollar has fallen by more than 20% in recent months. So whereas we had budgeted for a certain level of scanner or CT scanner initially, we found that when we were actually ready to make the purchase, our budget was only able to allow us to purchase this much. Now here I should add that the Sri Sathya Sai Central Trust has been very progressive, very forward-thinking in making sure that all of Swami's hospitals are enabled and equipped with the latest technology, and that we are always functioning and exceeding the latest medical standards. But we have a sacred responsibility. Swami had told us that every paisa that we spend has to be spent in the most responsible and efficient manner. And so we take this duty very seriously. So we had this much to work with, but the difference for the very best of the best CT scanners was this much. It was actually more than 2.5 crore rupees for both scanners. Now for that much money, brothers and sisters, we can perform 500 heart operations. So that gives you the perspective of what we were thinking. Here I recall what Swami had done when the first super specialty hospitals opened more than 20 years ago. When he was asked what type of CT scanner to purchase, Bhagavan simply answered, purchase the best CT scanner on the face of the earth. And that's what was done. But now, some time ago, we found ourselves in a different situation. And so what to do? What else should we do? Follow the master. Going inside, we follow the master, all of us, whether it was from finance, biomedical engineering, cardiology, radiology, that's exactly what we did. And in the end, do you know what happened? The vendor, which sells the leading CT scanner, came to us and they said, look, we know that you are budgeting for this level scanner, our mid-range scanner, but we very much want everything we want to have our top-end scanners at both of your hospitals. Here's what we're going to do. We will give you both of our very best scanners at the same price as the mid-range scanners which you're planning to buy. And so Swami's hospitals, both of his super specialty hospitals, will once again have the best CT scanners on the face of the planet. This is the wealth that Swami gives us when we follow the master. Follow the master. You will have all success, You will have all fame and you will have all wealth. But I know that none of us are going to follow the Master for these things. This is worldly success. We follow the Master because we love the Master. We follow the Master because for us, Swami's love is our life breath. We know nothing else but to serve Swami. We want nothing else but to serve Swami. But when we follow the Master, Swami will give us all spiritual success as well. He will show you the truth. Bhagavan's will is for you to know that you are Sai, that you are God, and that everything is God. And when you follow the Master, this will become as plain as day. When you follow the Master, there is no need to face the devil, because the devil will disappear. When you follow the Master, there is no need to fight to the end, because all fighting will cease. When you follow the Master, there is no need to finish the game, because the game of duality will be finished itself. Brothers and sisters, on this holy and auspicious day of Guru Poornima, let us all dedicate ourselves to following our Divine Master. Let us all remain ever alert, ever ready, and always obedient to His will. Jai Sai Ram.
Om Shri Sai Ram. I humbly offer my loving pranams at the lotus feet of our most beautiful, omnipresent Lord Sai. Respected elders, dearest brothers and sisters, loving Sai Rams. It is with great joy that I submit to you on this holy, sacred occasion of Guru Poornima. We live now in very special circumstances regarding our connection with our dearest, most loved Sadguru Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. What have we learned so far? What have we achieved at this stage? How should we move from this point on in the Sri Sathya Sai Baba organization? Answers for these questions have to emerge now from the teachings of our beloved Sadguru, from our connection between us in satsang, but especially from a constant inner connection with our dearest Sai within. The scriptures, our experience with Swami, and the spiritual inquiry. Some of these questions have to do with our understanding of the nature and purpose of the Sathya Sai organization. The Sathya Sai organization is an universal spiritual movement. We do not oppose other religions, nor do we ourselves differ from the devotees of other forms and names of our dear Lord. With our consciousness merged in Bhagwan, we see the same oneness in one and all, and we love all sacred forms and names, knowing that they are expressions of the same one principle. God is one without a second, says Swami. We know it, and that is the reason for the Sathya Sai organization to be an universal spiritual movement. Being connected to the source of all love, the Sathya Sai organization has not a checklist of activities to be accomplished. Being a spiritual organization, spirituality must be the first and last items in our agenda. As I heard in the Zone 4 meeting some days ago, it is crucial to understand what are the goals of the journey. The activities of the Sathya Sai organization are not an effort, and neither are they the goals. The activities are natural expression of love that insists to emerge from within. Who except our Lord could inspire us in this Kali Yuga to the point of being unstoppable sources of loving service? Not bureaucracy, not goals in themselves. The activities of the Sathya Sai organization are just natural expression of love. Look at the services being held in different places in the world. There are amazing medical camps being undertaken in faraway places in Russia. Immediate action after natural disasters, with services continuing afterwards without the support of any government. This is the case of Haiti, from 2010 to today, providing food, water, shelter, and medical service to thousands of people. Look at this Prasanthi Nilayam. Look at the new generation of leaders that are being forged with the temper of steel to face these hard times with an ethnic view of the world. Look at the hospitals created by Bhagwan, which have no other purpose than to serve with love. Look at the services developed in communities facing hardships in Southeast Asia. Look at the dozens of Sathya Sai schools and Sai education institutes imparting education free of cost in Latin America, Africa, Asia, North America, and Europe. 41 Sathya Sai schools and 27 Sai institutes in 27 countries. Not only teaching math and geography, but also sharing love and awareness of the self. Not only teaching science and history, but also spreading the practice of Dharma and expanding peace. Transforming, not only informing. Sathya Sai schools are amazing 6 to 7 days a week services of 12 hours a day. The recognition of God in action is indeed a beautiful process. In the inauguration ceremony of one of the buildings of a Sathya Sai school in Brazil, one Christian mother publicly declared, "I don't understand why God has chosen this place to put this school." She was saying that she recognized the Sathya Sai school as the work of God Himself. So the sacred name of our beloved Sathya Sai Baba is now known, respected, and loved in places far away from India by thousands of children, their families, and many dozens of thousands of educators of different religions. In Mexico, last year, there was an international education congress to which attended 1,500 teachers, 95% of them non-Sai devotees. And important as well, his teachings are being put into practice in the entire world, following Swami's footprints, as we were explained yesterday. This shows the omnipresence of Swami and his assurance that he will be with us forever. But it would be unfair to stick only to the big projects. Sons and daughters take care of their elder, sick parents for years. They care for brothers and sisters facing hardships. Devotees are known to be always loving to their friends in their jobs. Devotees are silent examples to neighbors, to politicians, to decision makers. What an amazing miracle, this expansion of the name, the teachings, and their practice. But still, it is not an effort. It is only the natural expression of infinite, pristine love. Swami said that love is his only power. We have Sai. What else could we possibly want or need? Well, how is this love to be achieved? Swami has gone through this many times in so many ways. Constant integrated awareness, spirituality, Saranagati, the complete surrender, unconditional love of God. There is one goal. Realization of the self should be our only achievement. We should only pray for moksha, the liberation from all attachments. Everything else would then just naturally flow. With the practice of education in human values, however, we come to know that example, not preaching, is the source of inspiration. In the Sathya Sai organization, it works like that as well. How are we going to inspire thirst of God if we don't have it ourselves? How are we going to share awareness of the Atma if we don't have it? How are we going to inspire the steps toward the Lord if we ourselves do not march towards Him? That is the highest challenge facing all devotees of Sai, especially those who have positions in the Sathya Sai organization. Your life is my message, said Swami. In what degree have we been preparing ourselves for the challenge? Have we dedicated ourselves intensively enough to acquire this inner experience, this fusion, this direct vision of God, this blissful state in which the personality naturally vanishes? If we do not move towards this goal, our ability to be meaningful in the transformation of the world is severely limited. That state cannot be granted by the body-ego-mind complex. That state, of course, is the grace, and has to come from the Lord Himself. It is something to be intensively prayed for. This constant connection, this constant presence of His name and His form in our mind, this constant urge of Himself, the intense desire of liberation of all ties of illusion, this must be there with us. Sometimes the idea of spiritual realization may seem too much of a challenge for us, but Swami says it is our birthright. That's why we should constantly pray, Asatoma Satgamaya, from untruths lead us to truth. Dhammasoma Jyotirgamaya, from darkness lead us to light. Mrityarmaham Amritaham Kamaya, from mortality lead us to immortality. Removal of immorality is the way to immortality, says Swami. Beloved Bhagwan, we humbly pray to you, please allow that we devotees of all your names and forms, as well as those who have already left and those who are still to come, to acquire this urge and finally come to directly know our true identity, your true identity, and then love until we become love itself. Jai Sai Ram.
We now pray to our beloved Bhagwan to bless all of us with his divine discourse. Sai Ram.
ప్రేమస్వరూపులారా,
embodiments of love.
ఈ విశాల ప్రపంచమునందు అనంతమైన విషయములందు అగాధమైన చింతలయందు అసంతృప్తి పొందుతున్నటువంటి మానవులు దేనిని వెతుకుతున్నారు? దేనికోసమై వారు తపిస్తున్నారు?
In this vast world, with full of infinite material and full of fathomless depths of thought and worries, the man being totally worried and totally lost for himself, what is that he is in search of? What is that he really wants?
కొందరు ప్రాకృతమైనటువంటి చింతల నిమిత్తమై, మరికొందరు అప్రాప్తం నిమిత్తమైనటువంటి యొక్క చింతలు సలుపుతూ కాలమును వ్యర్థం చావిస్తున్నారు.
Some are wasting their time thinking of the world, while some are struggling hard to earn that they do not deserve and waste their time.
కానీ ఆధ్యాత్మిక మార్గమునందు అనేక మంది దైవాన్ని దర్శించాలని, దైవాన్ని స్మరించాలని, దైవంతో సంభాషించాలని చింతిస్తున్నారు.
But in the spiritual field, many of the aspirants, they want to enjoy the proximity to the divine. They want to converse with him. They want to be with him and near him.
బ్రహ్మ విష్ణు మహేశ్వరులని మానవులు చింతిస్తున్నారు. కానీ ఈ బ్రహ్మ విష్ణు మహేశ్వరులు ఆకార మానవులు కాదు.
Man worships the triune God in the form of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, in a human form, but not so.
వీరికి ఆకారములు లేవు,
They have no forms,
ఆధారములు లేవు,
they are nothing whatsoever.
దీనివల్ల లభించేటువంటి యొక్క ఆనందము లేదు.
And there is no bliss out of such form of worship.
అయితే ఈ ముగ్గురు కూడాను ఏ ఆకారంతో ఉన్నారు అని విచారణ చేస్తే ఉపాధులు లేనటువంటి యొక్క గుణాకారులై ఉన్నారు.
If you want to know the real form, you will understand, though they do not have any vesture whatsoever, they have certain attributes at the functional level.
ఏమిటి ఈ యొక్క ఆకారములు?
What is the vesture, the form they have put on?
ఈశ్వర సర్వభూతానాం అన్నారు.
It is said God dwells in all of the creatures.
ఈశ్వరుడు అన్ని భూతముల యందు ఉంటున్నాడు.
God is present in all of the beings.
కానీ ఏ ఆకారంతో ఉంటున్నాడు?
Yet in what form is he present?
ఈ ఆకారం తెలియనటువంటి యొక్క రూపమును చింతించి ఏ విధి ప్రయోజనము?
What is that you derive by contemplating on that which has no form?
కనుక ఈశ్వరత్వం అనగా కేవలం మానవుని యందు కనిపించేటువంటి, వినిపించేటువంటి, తలపించేటువంటి, మరిపించేటువంటి యొక్క దివ్యమైనటువంటి యొక్క శ్వాసనే.
Therefore the divinity is that which is present in everyone in a non-apparent way, that which cannot be heard nor felt, that will make you live in this world in the form of very breath.
కానీ ఈ శబ్దము ఏ విధంగా మనకు గోచరిస్తుండాలి?
The sound, how do you able to listen to it?
ఈ శబ్దమును ఆకారంగా అనుభవించాలంటే ఏమి చేయాలి?
What is to be done to experience sound in the form, in a particular form?
దీనినే ఉపనిషత్తులు
This Upanishads
బ్రహ్మ అన్నారు,
call it Brahma,
ఆత్మ అన్నారు.
also call it Atma.
ఇలాంటి ఆకారరహితమైనటువంటి పదములు ఎన్ని చెప్పినప్పటికీ మానవునికి అర్థం కాదు.
Man cannot understand by listening to these terms that have no specific forms.
అయితే ఈ శబ్దమునకు ఆకారం ఏమిటి?
Yet what is the form behind this sound?
ఇట్టి శబ్ద బ్రహ్మమైనటువంటి యొక్క ఈశ్వరత్వాన్ని ఏ ఆకారంగా మనం చింతించాలి?
In what form can we think of the divinity that is present in the form of the primordial sound?
దీనినే ఈశ్వరత్వము అన్నారు.
This is the divinity.
ఈశ్వరత్వం అనగా అర్థం ఏమిటి?
What is the meaning of Ishwaratva?
మంగళకరమైనటువంటి యొక్క శ్వాస అని అర్థం.
That only means the breath which is auspicious.
ఇట్టి మంగళకరమైనటువంటి శ్వాస ఏ విధంగా మనకు ప్రాప్తిస్తుండాలి?
How do you get this auspicious breath?
ఈ ఈశ్వరత్వము మానవుని యొక్క శ్వాస నుండి సోహం 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 అనేటువంటి శబ్దంతో మనకు గోచరిస్తుండాలి.
The divinity is present in the very breath of man in the form of soham.
అనగా ఆ సో అనేటువంటి దీన్ని నా యొక్క ఆకారం అన్నారు.
It is said that very syllable so is my form.
అది ఏ నా ఆకారం అన్నారు.
That is my form.
అయితే ఇట్టి ఆకారం మనము గుర్తించడానికి వీలవుతుందా?
Is it possible to recognize that form?
తనను తాను గుర్తించుకోవటమే ఈ యొక్క శ్వాస యొక్క ఆకారం.
To know one's own self, to recognize one's own self amounts to recognition of the breath.
కూర్చున్నావు,
You are seated.
కూర్చున్నప్పుడు సోహం వస్తుండాలి.
You just find this soham
దీన్ని
going
వాచ్
on.
చేయాలి.
Watch the soham.
ఏది సో ఏది హం.
What is so? What is hum?
ఏ యొక్క నాద్రం నుంచి సో అని వస్తుండాలి.
And what is the origin, the beginning place?
ఏ ద్వారం నుంచి హం అనేటువంటి దిగుతుండాలి.
And what is the nostril through which hum comes out?
ఒకటి పోవటము, ఒకటి రావటము.
One is inhalation, other is exhalation.
కనుకనే ఈ వచ్చిపోయేటువంటి శబ్దమును మాత్రమే గుర్తించుకుంటూ పోతే సోహం.
And if you watch this inhalation and exhalation process, it is
ఒకటి
so.
లోపల పోతుండాలి.
One goes in, breathing.
అది ఏ సో.
Breathing in is so.
హం.
Hum.
ఇది అహంకారము.
That is
అది ఏ
ahankara.
బయట పోయేటువంటిది.
That is ahankara, ego, breathe out.
కాబట్టి బయట పోయేటువంటి దాన్ని మనం వదిలిపెట్టాలి.
All that is breathed out must be left out.
లోపల పోయి ప్రాణాన్ని అందించేటువంటి దానిని మనం గట్టిగా పట్టుకోవాలి.
We have to hold on to the life oxygen that is breathed in.
కనుకని సో అనేటువంటి తత్వాన్ని మనం గట్టిగా కుంభకం చేయాలి.
So we should retain the oxygen that has been taken in.
కనుకని అనేక మంది సాధన చేసేటువంటి వారు రేచక పూరక కుంభకం అంటున్నారు.
Many of the seekers in spiritual path think of these three aspects.
సో అని ఒక నుంచి ముక్కు నుంచి తీసుకోవాలి.
Breathe in through one nostril.
రెండవ ముక్కు నుంచి హమ్ అనేటువంటిది వదిలిపెట్టాలి.
Through the another nostril you breathe out hum.
ఈ రెండింటికి మధ్య లోపల కుంభకము కొంతసేపు నిలుపుకోవాలి.
In between the two there is a middle stage kumbhaka, retention of breath.
ఈ మూడింటి యొక్క తత్వము కాలమును ఆధారం చేసుకోవాలి.
And we have to go by the time interval process.
కాలం యొక్క ప్రమాణం మనం గుర్తించుకోకుండా కేవలం ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్టుగా చేస్తుంటే ఇది ప్రాణాయామం కాదు, ప్రాణానికి అపాయమే.
And if we don't go by the timing interval process and think of the maintenance of the time, it is not simply pranayama, breathing process, it is prana apaya, leads to the danger of your life.
కనుక సో అనేటువంటిది ఎంత కాలం నీవు తీసుకుంటున్నావో
The time you take it to breathe in
అంతకాలము దాన్ని కుంభకం చేయాలి, నిలిపాలి.
must equal for its retention kumbhaka.
ఎంతకాలం నీవు నిలిపినావో
The time
అంతకాలం దానిని వదలాలి.
The time that you take to retain the breath must equal the time that you breathe out.
కనుకని కాలస్వరూపాయ నమః అన్నాడు బ్రహ్మను.
So Brahma, God, is time.
సోహం అనేటువంటిది బ్రహ్మతత్వమే.
Soham is Brahmatva, created.
కనుకనే కాలస్వరూపుడైనటువంటి బ్రహ్మతత్వాన్ని కాలానుగుణ్యంగా మనం నడుచుకోవాలి.
Therefore, as God is time, we should proceed carefully.
కనుక విద్యార్థులారా,
Students,
ఉపనిషత్తుల యొక్క అర్థాన్ని గుర్తించాలనుకుంటే కేవలం ఉపనిషత్తులు తెలిసినటువంటి యొక్క మహనీయుల చెంతకే వెళ్ళి దాని అంతరార్థాన్ని గుర్తించుకోవాలి.
if you want to know the meaning of these Upanishads, you should approach the scholars and try to learn
ఈ
from them.
సర్వ ఉపనిషత్తు సారమైనటువంటిది బ్రహ్మతత్వం నుండి వచ్చినటువంటివి.
And the essence of Upanishads had come out of Brahma.
ఈ బ్రహ్మతత్వం అనేటువంటిది వాక్ స్వరూపమే.
And this nature of Brahma is the very speech faculty.
మనోతత్వం అనేటువంటిది విష్ణుతత్వము.
The mind represents Vishnu.
విష్ణుతత్వం అనేటువంటిది మంచి భావంతో కూడినటువంటిది.
And the mind should have good thoughts.
మంచి భావమే ఉండినప్పుడు మంచి పదములే వస్తుంటాయి.
When once you have good thoughts, you speak good words.
మంచి పదములే వచ్చినప్పుడు మంచి అర్థములే ఇస్తుంటాయి.
The good words convey good meaning.
కనుకని బ్రహ్మ విష్ణు మహేశ్వరులు అంటే ముగ్గురు ప్రత్యేకం కాదు.
So Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara are not separate.
బ్రహ్మ శ్వాసము,
Brahma is breath.
విష్ణువు మనస్సు,
Vishnu is mind.
ఇంకా మహేశ్వరుడు,
Maheshwara,
అది ఏ వాక్కు.
and that is the talking.
కనుక ఆత్మ, మనసు, వాక్కు మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వమే బ్రహ్మ విష్ణు మహేశ్వరత్వం.
Therefore, the harmony, the unity of Atma, the self, the Manasu, the mind, and the walk, the talk,
కనుక
represent
ఆత్మకు
the
ఏ రీతిగా
divinity.
నీవు అర్థాన్ని చెప్పగలవు?
And how can you declare its meaning?
వాక్కులకు ఏ రీతిగా అర్థం చెప్పగలవు?
How can you explain its interpretation?
వాక్కును నీకు అర్థం చెప్పాలంటే వాక్ రూపంగానే చెప్పాలి.
The word meaning could be said by word only.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
Embodiments of love.
ఈ విధంగా మీకు చెప్తూ పోతుంటే మీకు తలనొప్పిగా వస్తుంటుంది.
You will not be able to understand in full if its things are stated in all
కారణమేమనగా
seriousness.
అర్థంకు తెలియనటువంటి వారు, ఉపనిషత్తులు చూడనటువంటి వారు, ఉపనిషత్తుల యొక్క సారాన్ని గుర్తించలేనటువంటి వారు దీనికి అనేక అనర్థాలు చేసుకుంటారు.
Naturally, those people who have never heard of Upanishads nor meaning of Upanishads, they cannot
కనుక నీ
understand.
ఉపనిషత్తు అనేటువంటిది చాలా శాంతంగా,
You should know it peacefully,
సమయస్ఫూర్తిగా,
at right time,
ప్రవర్తన పవిత్రంగా,
making the conduct
వాక్
right,
శుద్ధిగా,
and it good words,
అప్పుడే శ్వాస శుద్ధిగా మనం చెప్పాలి.
and then you can have the
మన
purity in your
శ్వాసకులను
breathing process,
పరిశుద్ధం కావాలి.
and the breath should be purified.
ప్రేమ స్వరూపులారా,
Embodiments of love.
లోకము లోపల
In this world,
ఎన్నో విధమైనటువంటి పదములు ఉంటున్నవి,
there are so many words,
ఎన్నో విధమైనటువంటి అర్థములు ఉంటున్నవి.
many meanings.
కానీ అర్థములకును ఈ పదములకును ఈ యొక్క సన్నిహిత సంబంధ బాంధవ్యాన్ని చేకూర్చాలి.
But we should know the right meaning for every word.
ఆధ్యాత్మిక తత్వం లోపల ఈ అర్థాలను తీసుకోవటం ప్రయోజనం లేదు.
In spirituality, you cannot simply go by its meaning.
దాని అర్థం తీసుకోకుండా దాని యొక్క స్వరాన్ని మాత్రమే మనం ఉచ్చరిస్తూ పోండి.
You go on repeating its sound.
ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, చాలా మందికి నేను అక్కడ చెప్తుంటాం, ఓంకారం అనేటువంటిది ఒక స్పెల్లింగ్ మాదిరి చూడాలి.
Omkar, just take its spelling.
ఓం అంటారు.
Many say Om.
ఇది ఓం అనేటువంటి స్పెల్లింగ్ కాదు,
It's not spelling that
ఇది
way.
ఒక పదము.
It's a word.
ఈ పదమైనప్పుడు దీనికి స్పెల్లింగ్ ఏమిటి?
Then what is its spelling?
ఈ స్పెల్లింగ్ చూడాలంటే ఆ ఊ ఉం ఈ మూడు చేరితే ఓం అనే పదం వచ్చింది.
And if you want to know its spelling, A-U-M, A-U-M.
ఆ ఊ ఉం.
A-U-M.
ఈ పదం చెప్పాలంటే ఆ అనేటువంటిది గొంతు నుంచి వస్తుంది.
A comes out of the throat.
ఊ అనేటువంటిది నోలకు నుంచి వస్తుంది.
U comes out of the tongue.
అనేటువంటిది పదవుల నుంచి వస్తుంది.
Comes out of the lips.
ఈ మూడు చేరినటువంటి ఓంకారం నాభి నుంచి వస్తుంది.
So the combination of the three comes out of the very navel.
కనుకనే హృదయనాళం నుంచి వచ్చేటువంటి ఒక సౌండే నిజమైనటువంటి సౌండ్.
So the sound that comes out of the heart is the true sound.
చాలా మందికి ఆ ఊ ఊం అని చెప్పమంటే స్పెల్లింగ్లే చెప్పుకుంటూ కూర్చుంటారు.
And when this is to be said, they go by the spelling only.
తెల్లవారుజాము కూడా ఓంకారంలో చెప్పాలంటే ఆ ఊం అంటారు.
In the early hours of the morning, the Omkara is said in a wrong way.
మూడింటి యొక్క సేవమేంటి స్వరూపం అని సమకాలంలో దాన్ని ఉచ్చరించాలి.
And we have to say, utter Omkara in the correct way.
ఎక్కడి నుంచినో ప్లేన్ వస్తుంటుంది.
The plane is dashing
ఆ
forward.
శబ్దం ఎక్కడి నుంచినో లభించినట్టుగా తెలుస్తుంది.
And you will be able to know its sound.
కానీ దగ్గరకు వచ్చినప్పుడు పెద్దదిగా వినిపిస్తుంది.
And you listen.
తర్వాత తిరిగి అది ఎక్కడికో పోతున్నట్టుగా కనిపిస్తుంది.
And you will also hear the sound from distance.
అది నిజమైనటువంటి ఒక ఓంకార శబ్దము.
That is Omkara principle.
ఆ లోకం నుంచి ఎక్కడి నుంచినో రావాలి.
And it should come from
ఆ
within.
నాభి నుంచి రావాలి.
It should come out of the navel.
కంఠం నుంచి వచ్చినప్పుడు అది శబ్దం ఎక్కువ వినిపిస్తుంది.
And when once it comes out of the throat,
కానీ
you will
తిరిగి అది
hear high
వెళ్ళిపోయే
sound.
సమయం లోపల తగ్గిపోతూ వస్తుంది.
And then at the final stage, it declines.
కనుకనే ఈ శబ్దములంతా కూడా సక్రమమైనటువంటి తీసుకున్నప్పుడే మనకు సరైనటువంటి భావన కుదురుతుంది.
So we should consider every word in the proper sense and know its meaning.
అనేక మంది ఈ యొక్క ప్రపంచంలో ఓంకారాన్ని స్మరిస్తూ ఉంటుంటారు.
Many people chant, repeat Omkara.
ఎన్ని సంవత్సరంలో చరిస్తుంటారు.
They do it for many years.
స్వామి ఇన్ని సంవత్సరం నుంచి నేను ఓంకార నాదం చేస్తున్నాను, నాకు ఏమాత్రం భక్తి కుదరడం లేదు.
Many come and say, Swami, I have been repeating Omkara, but I am not able to have steady
కానీ ఎట్లా
devotion.
కుదురుతుంది?
How is it possible?
సరైనటువంటి అర్థంతో నువ్వు చేస్తుంటే కదా,
You are not doing it
సరైన
meaningfully.
శృతిలో నువ్వు పెట్టుకుంటే కదా.
You don't say it properly.
శృతిలో రాగ తాళములు మూడు కూడా నువ్వు ఏకం కావాలి.
And there should be a kind of proper rhythm in the beat.
కనుకనే శృతి కూడా ఉంటుండాలి.
And the tune is necessary.
ఈ శృతి లయము కూడా ఉండాలి.
And there should be proper rhythm.
ఈ కాలము కూడా ఉంటుండాలి.
And the time.
కనుక మూడింటి యొక్క ఏకత్వాన్ని మనం చక్కగా గుర్తించుకొని ప్రవర్తించాలి.
So the beat and the rhythm and the time, all these factors have got to be taken into
ఉపనిషత్తులు
consideration.
అనేటువంటిది ఎంతనో కఠినమైనట్టుగా ఉన్నట్టుగా కనిపిస్తాయి.
We find that we think the Upanishads are very tough.
కానీ దాని అర్థం కింద తెలుసుకుంటే అంతకంటే సులభమైనటువంటి మరొకటి లేదు.
But if you know its meaning, there is nothing that could be simpler than that.
ఈ సంగీతంలో ఉన్నటువంటి యొక్క దోషము ఇలాంటిదే.
Here lies the mistake in music.
కొంతమంది స్వరం పెట్టుకుంటారు.
They go by this voice.
కానీ ఆ స్వరానికి తగినట్టుగా తన గొంతును మార్చుకోవాలి.
And they have to change their modulation.
ఆ గొంతును మార్చుకునే సమయం లోపల ఆకారాన్ని కూడా మార్చుకోవాలి.
And then we have to change the posture.
ఈ ఆకారాన్ని మార్చుకునే సమయం లోపల
as you change your posture,
ఆనందం అనేటువంటిది కూడా ఆవిర్భవించుకుంటూ రావాలి.
there lies the bliss.
కానీ ఆకారం మారినప్పుడు,
when the posture changes,
శబ్దం మారినప్పుడు,
when the modulation changes,
ఆకారంలో అనంతమైనటువంటి ఒక వికారమే కలుగుతుంది.
and you cannot experience bliss at all.
చాలా మంది మీకు తెలుసును.
Many of you know.
సంగీతం ప్రారంభించినప్పుడు,
when we start learning music,
చాలా మంది అంటారు.
they just make a beginning.
కానీ అది ప్రారంభించినప్పుడు ఆ శృతికి తగినట్టుగా ఉందా లేదా?
And it should be according to Shruti.
ఆ శృతికి తగినట్టుగా లేకపోతేప్పుడు దానికి అపస్వరంగా వస్తుంది.
And if it's not according to Shruti, it will be a wrong way.
దీనికి దేహమును కూడా కంట్రోల్ చేస్తూ రావాలి.
And you have to control your body.
చాలా మంది మీరు భజనలో కూడా మీరు చూస్తుంటారు.
You must be watching in bhajans.
గట్టిగా పైనప్పుడు వీళ్ళ గొంతు ఇంత ఒక గజం దూరం వస్తుంది.
And when they just sing at high pitch, they will be at a distance from the mic.
గొంతు మారకూడదు.
And you should not change your tone.
ఇంత దూరం రాకూడదు అది.
And you should not be so distant.
కంట్రోల్ లో పెట్టుకోవాలి.
You should be on your
కొంతమంది కన్నులు మూసుకుంటారు.
Some close their eyes.
కన్నులు కొన్ని ఒక కన్ను పైకి ఒక కన్ను కిందికి వస్తుంది ఇది.
And one eye upward direction, another eye downward.
ఈ వికారములు కూడా చాలా తన యొక్క స్వరూపాన్ని మార్పు చేస్తుంది.
And these postures also change your form.
అందువల్లనే హార్మోని వాయించే సమయం లోపల,
as you play your harmonium,
హార్మోని పైన ఒక అద్దం పెడతారు.
and they keep a mirror there.
ఈ అద్దం ఎందుకోసం పెట్టారని తెలుసా?
Why mirror there?
దాని పాట పాడే సమయం లోపల ఆ అద్దంలో చూసుకొని తన కన్నులు, తన నోరు, తన యొక్క గొంతు ఏ విధంగా మారుతుందో గుర్తించుకుంటూ రావాలి.
As you play the harmonium, you should just look at the mirror and see your postures and modulation.
అక్కడ సరైనటువంటి గొంతే లేకుండా పోతే, స్వరమే లేకుండా పోతే తన ముఖమే తనకు వికారంగా కనిపిస్తుంది.
If the tone is not proper, you will find ugly face there.
అలాంటి వాడు ఎంత మంచిగా పాడినప్పటికీ తన యొక్క వికారమైనటువంటి స్వరూపాన్ని అందరూ అసహ్యించుకుంటారు.
Well, one may sing well, but he looks very ugly because of that.
ఆకారం కూడా సకారంగా ఉండాలి.
So he should be proper.
ఆకారం చక్కగా లేకుండా పోతే అంతా వికారమే అయిపోతుంది.
And if akara form is not good, it will be vikara.
అలాంటి వాడు పాటలు పాడకపోయినా కూడా మంచిది.
Better you don't sing such songs.
కనుక ఇతరులకు అకారాన్ని వల్ల అనేక విధమైనటువంటి అశాంతిని కలిగించకూడదు.
And this ugliness will disturb the peace of mind of
ఇది
others.
ఉపనిషత్తుల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఒక అంతరార్థం కూడా.
This is the inner significance of Upanishads.
ఈ ఉపనిషత్తుల లోపల చక్కని సరైనటువంటి భావాన్ని తెచ్చుకోవాలి.
And you should know the correct meaning of the Upanishads.
మనము కొన్ని పనులు మనం చేస్తుంటాం.
We do certain actions.
ఆ పనులు కూడాను సక్రమమైనట్టుగా ఉండాలి.
And we should discharge our duty
ఆ
correctly.
సమయస్ఫూర్తిగా చేస్తూ రావాలి.
Right, appropriate to the situation.
మనం కొన్ని పాలు త్రాగుతూ,
as you drink the milk,
మనం ఏదో మాట్లాడుకుంటూ వస్తే ఆ పాలంతా కిందికి పడిపోతాయి.
and as you drink milk and start conversing with others, the milk will spill out.
గొంతు కూడా పాడైపోతుంది.
And the throat also will be spoiled.
మనం ఏదైనా తినే సమయంలో, తాగే సమయంలో మాట్లాడకూడదు.
While eating and drinking, you should not converse.
ప్రాచీన కాలంలో ఉన్నటువంటి మహనీయులందరూ కూడాను,
all ancient good people,
భోజనం చేసేటప్పుడు ఏమీ మాట్లాడకూడదు.
and no one, they said no one should speak as they die.
బ్రహ్మావిత్ బ్రహ్మాగ్నో బ్రహ్మనాహృతం బ్రహ్మైవ తేన గంతవ్యం బ్రహ్మకర్మ సమాధిన. ఈ రెండు చెప్పేంత వరకు కూడాను నువ్వు ఏమాత్రము ఎవరితోనో మాట్లాడవద్దు.
You should not speak to anyone without saying your prayers as you die.
భోజనం పూర్తి అయ్యేంత వరకు కూడాను మాట్లాడుతూ మనం భోజనం చేయకూడదు.
You should not talk as you take your food.
అప్పుడే నీకు జీర్ణం కోసం చచ్చిపోతుంది.
And if you go on talking, the digestion will be spoiled.
అప్పుడు అది పాడైపోయినప్పుడు ఇంకా ఎన్ని రకమైనటువంటి జబ్బులు వస్తాయి.
And that leads to so many diseases.
ప్రశాంతంగా కన్నులు మూసుకొని ప్రార్థించి భోజనం చేసేయి.
And then close your eyes and pray, then start to
పిల్లలు
eat.
చాలా మందికి ఇది తెలియదు.
Many people don't know this.
ప్రశాంతంగా భోజనం చేయాలి.
And as you eat, you should be
నవ్వుకుంటూ
peaceful.
భోజనం చేయకూడదు. నవ్వుకుంటూ భోజనం చేయకూడదు.
And as you eat, you should not laugh.
లేక ఏడ్చుకుంటూ భోజనం చేయకూడదు.
Nor should you cry.
రెండూ లేకుండా ప్రశాంతమైనటువంటి గుణంతో భోజనం చేసేయాలి.
Eat peacefully.
ఏ పదములకు దీనికి అర్థమో దానికి తగినటువంటి రీతిగానే భుజించాలి.
And you should eat properly, knowing what you are eating.
భోజనంకు ముందుగా కూడాను ఏ చింతన కూడా నువ్వు తెచ్చుకోకూడదు.
You should not have any worry or anxiety before dining.
నిత్య జీవితంలో మనం సత్య జీవితాన్ని గడపాలనుకుంటే ఈ విధమైనటువంటి కొన్ని అనుకూలాలు మనం చేసుకోవాలి.
In order to lead a truthful life in this eternal life, you should know all these aspects.
ప్రేమ ముదిత మనస్సు కరో రామ 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 శ్రీ రామ రామ लिखे देत राम भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम माता पिता बंधु सखा सबकी कामना बंधु सखा सबकी कामना भक्त जनर जीवन गण एक राम
Ram